走り出せ走り出せ空高く鳩と差し
Hi guys, it's Wasabi Fold here again with part 2 of my Invading Mariejoa theory series. In part 1, I talk about an inciting incident that may occur at this year's reverie that would provoke the Straw Hats to want to invade Mariejoa to save their friends. Namely, I talk about the 3 kingdoms that have assisted the Straw Hats in the past, as well as Boa Hancock, all potentially being persecuted or found out at this year's reverie. And I talk about this potentially being the inciting incident. However, if you haven't seen that video and this is the first part of the series that you're seeing, go and check it out. It's on my channel. All of this series will be part of a playlist that will be on my channel once it's complete. So subscribe if you want to learn more. Now in this video I will be talking about the response from the Straw Hats that will lead them to Mariejoa. And I believe that this response will be the introduction of the Grand Fleet to the rest of the world, specifically the world government. The main reason why I think this arc will happen after Wano, and why the Grand Fleet will be involved in this arc then, is because I think it fits perfectly with the kind of statement needed after a Yonko is defeated. Now we know that when Whitebeard was defeated, even though Blackbeard killed Whitebeard, and even though he had 2 devil fruits, that wasn't enough for him to be considered a Yonko all on its own. In the following year, he had to pay back war with the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates led by Marco, and that failed miserably and Blackbeard defeated them easily. And that, in my opinion, speaks to the kind of statement that has to be made when you want to be considered a Yonko. So we expect that after Wano, Kaido will be defeated. So therefore, we will go through a period where people will be looking to those who defeated Kaido, which I believe will be primarily the worst generation, and looking at one of them to see who will arise as a potential Yonko candidate. That is why Luffy using the Grand Fleet to invade Mariejoa to save his friends is an important statement, not just to the other pirates who want to become Yonko, but also to the world government as a whole, that he has the influence and the power and the potential to be that Yonko. And I believe that him invading Mariejoa will be his statement or his claim to the Yonko position. And the main reason also why I think they will be done here and not during Wano to help us defeat Kaido is because we just saw them in Dressrosa and the longest arc in One Piece history, and I do believe that it would be too soon, considering that the Kaido storyline and defeating Kaido was started on Punk Hazard, led all the way through Dressrosa. It really motivated our reasons for attacking Doflamingo in the first place. It hasn't been accomplished yet, and I don't think we would meet people during the Doflamingo's arc, have them help us, and then have them leave, do a couple more arcs in between, and then have them come back just to help us defeat Kaido in the end. I think that the Samurai and the Minx alliance that we had is important, and I think that they will get their time to shine. And that's one of the main reasons why Oda gave us these new armies and new divisions to showcase them, and they haven't had their showcase yet. There's no reason to call the Grand Fleet back in when they just had their showcase in Dressrosa. So Oda will use this reverie invasion by Luffy as a way to tell the rest of the world that Luffy is ready to become a Yonko. How amazing would it be for Luffy to show up at the foot of the world government with a tremendously large fleet, the Yonta Maria Grand Fleet, all of them with straw hat flags all across their banners. That would be so amazing. So that is my thought as far as how the Straw Hats will deal with the world government provocation. Also, however, the Grand Fleet is important as far as actually getting to Mariejoa. We know that Mariejoa has the ability to allow people safe passage over the Red Line, but you have to get government permission. I believe that this is controlled by the 2 marine bases that sandwich with the Red Line. Therefore, in order for a pirate to use this method of getting over the red line, they have to be able to get past these 2 marine bases. And that's why, pirates just can't do it, because it would involve taking over a marine base. This is why I think Oda switched the bases and their locations really unnecessarily, because we did see a Marineford base before the time skip, but he switched it just at the start of the time skip And I think that is significant because when Straw Hats and Luffy and them are coming back from Wano to go and attack Mariejoa, they will not be facing down a random G5 Marine base. They will be facing down the new Marine HQ, which gives it more significance. I believe that they're going to have to take over one of these bases if they want to get to Mariejoa. And they're going to have to occupy that base while they're at Mariejoa to secure a way out of Mariejoa, because Mariejoa itself is tactically a terrible disadvantage for anyone who's invading. The only way for the Straw Hats to get in and get out with their major force is to be able to control one of these marine bases, and I think that's where the larger members of our Grand Fleet, namely the Hapo Navy and the Yonta Maria Grand Fleet, definitely play an important part here as far as maintaining Marineford under our control. So I think that the Straw Hats will take over Marineford. Now, if you might be wondering how they will be able to do that, considering Whitebeard failed to do that, just be aware that the Marines were ready for Whitebeard's attack. They prepared for Whitebeard's attack. They had all the pacifistas, the wall, the plan, the Shichibukai there. This is going to be an impromptu attack. So the Straw Hats are not going to be facing down 3 admirals and the entire force that Whitebeard faced down. They will be springing this attack on the Marine base when they're not prepared for it. So that is how they will actually be able to accomplish this, even though we don't have like 3 or 4 fighters that can take on admirals. So that is why the Grand Fleet is important in this arc, because it will be about making a statement as to Luffy being ready to become a Yonko. There will also be one more group assisting us, because this arc will bring to conclusion all of the loose ends as far as the Fishman Island arc, and therefore Jinbei and the Sun Pirates will be assisting us on this Invade Mariejoa series. I don't need to tell you why. The significance is clear. The Fishman Island Kingdom will be being persecuted. Definitely that Jinbei and the Sun Pirates will be assisting us in this arc in order to get to Mariejoa. So that is the end of part 2. Part 3, I will be outlining who the antagonists of this arc will be. Specifically, I'm going to be outlining who I think are going to be the main antagonists of this story and the foreshadowing that Oda has been doing since the time skip that leads up to this. So just stay tuned for part 3. I'll be trying to get it up later today. Alright, thank you guys for listening. This is Wasabi Fold signing out.